Well, John, can you give me a synopsis of the current state of corporate real estate? So, challenges, opportunities, what are you seeing?
Yeah. So when the pandemic first struck, particularly in our larger markets like London, New York, Chicago, LA, Hong Kong, no one was going to the office. So that was our time to really capitalize on decreasing footprints and negotiating rents. So we spent a lot of time looking at our footprint globally and understanding how much of the workforce we anticipated to come back in the short term, depending on our lease deadlines. As far as the long term goes, we also looked at the markets that we expected our employees to steadily go back to over time, and looked at those lease expirations and kind of what our footprints look like in those markets. What we've seen for the last probably 2 or 3 quarters is we're not seeing a lot of decreases in base rents globally across real estate, across commercial real estate. We're seeing a lot of concessions come from our landlords. So the landlords don't necessarily want us to leave, and they also don't want to decrease anyone's rent, because then it's going to be harder to increase it in the long run once people start going back. The landlords are providing a lot of tenant improvement dollars, so they would like us to stay in our current offices and give us some money to renovate and do some curb appeal in order for us to like our office better, for our employees to come back, rather than to decrease the rent and then it'll be a lot harder for them to hike it up in the long term. We're also seeing a lot of free rent, so a lot of free rent that abates over periods of time, rather than decreases as well in rent. So again, the landlords don't necessarily want us to move. We've taken some really great strides as a firm to assess our leases and assess our footprints in those markets and move if we need to. Otherwise, we've definitely been capitalizing on areas of free rent and tenant improvement dollars where we could.
Gotcha. Awesome.
And that stands true globally, really. I've seen that reports from major brokerage firms are saying the same things, and we've obviously been advised from them as well. So definitely not a lot of rent decreases, a lot of free rent, and a lot of tenant improvement